Hey, what's up everybody? I'm sorry that I haven't posted a video in a while. Um, I made the last video private talking about the night that I caught my attempted murder. I don't know how long I'll keep it private for or if I'll ever repost it again. I might make a Patreon down the line and repost it on there, or maybe retell it a little bit different. The reason why I took it down was just because I didn't really express good enough how bad of a mistake that night was. And I just want to let everyone know that I'm not a super hard dude. I don't think I'm super cool. What I did was horrible. The fact that I didn't actually end up hurting anyone severely is a miracle, and I think about that almost every day, how lucky I am to have came out of that situation without ruining another person's life or taking it away. But today, I'm just gonna get a little bit into about what happened kind of after that night. So I went on the run for 2 days after this, and I eventually got caught at a gas station. The cops, they had the license plate for that silver Monte Carlo that I was driving around, my girlfriend's brother's. For those of you guys who did get a chance to watch the video before it went down. And maybe I'll just put like a summarized version up after this one, just kind of explaining a little bit about what happened that night. But so I got caught, and I was actually in the next city over, which is in Minnesota. If you have been around since the first video, I live in a town where I'm 5 minutes away from Minnesota, 5 minutes away from Wisconsin. So I was there for about a week, and man, I was just like, someone came up to me and handed me a news article with my face on it that said what happened, that I was on the run for a couple days, that I was charged with attempted homicide and these reckless endangerments. And I saw myself on the news, and everyone was like, hey, it's there's the guy, you know, being fucking stupid inmates who have no time on their hands. But anyways, I finally get extradited over to Wisconsin, and I get my paperwork, and this is where it says that the Class B felony of attempted homicide, you can get a maximum up to 60 years, and then 12 and a half years each for the 2 reckless endangerments, but those had firearm enhancers, so that added another 10 years onto it. And there was a misdemeanor battery that added 9 more months onto this. So it's pretty much sitting at facing around 100 years. And I was still coming off of drugs at the time, so it wasn't quite registering to me what was happening. And I forgot to mention, when I was still over in Minnesota, the detectives came to talk to me. I didn't know much about the system, but I obviously didn't snitch on myself or do any of that. I have no co-defendants, by the way, and by the way that I told the story, I want to keep it that way. I got through this whole situation without having to tell on anybody. I had no one to tell on anyway, even if I wanted to, but that's not who I am. I actually got told on by my best friends, one of my best friend, for you who saw the first video, and that breaks my heart to this day. That's why I have so much disdain for rats, especially people who rat on people that they love or they're supposed to love. Anyways, I remember some of the more experienced convicts who were in there. They were messing with me, and they knew that this was my first charge, and they saw a little bit about what happened from like the news and stuff, or from like people just telling them what they heard, and they were trying to mess with me, and I didn't notice at the time. They're like, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, you're probably gonna go to the joint for like 20-25 years, man. They don't play with these attempted murders and stuff. And they knew that no one really got hurt, and that I actually wasn't gonna get that much time, but it hurt my soul I was sick. I thought that I was never going to be able to see my son was 2 months old when I got locked up, and I didn't come home until he was almost 3. So in my mind, I had readied myself to do 20 years because that's what people were telling me I was gonna get, and it wasn't till probably like 4 months in that I ran into one of my guys from the street. His name was Chris, and he had done time in the maximum securities here, and he had been through the system since he was a teenager. He was telling me, no, they usually give people second chances as long as no one gets, no one was murdered or shot and stuff. Pretty good about that if you haven't given them a reason not to. So that I still was in my mind preparing to at least do like 10 or 15 years. And man, it sucked. Coming off the drugs. I forgot to mention that I'm a pretty big dude. I'm sitting at about 240 now. I usually sit about 230. I've been working out right now. I'm pretty big. I'm a lot bigger than I normally am, but I usually sit at about 200, 230, anywhere between 230 and 260 pounds. 260 pounds at the beginning of this year was the most that I ever weighed. And when I got booked into jail, I was 140 pounds, and people, I am 6 feet tall, and I stand at over 200, or I sit over 200 pounds easily when I'm sober, but I was skin and bone, and I was sick. And I think that the next video that I get into, I'm probably gonna go through thoroughly the first couple months, maybe the first half year of what it was like, coming down off the drugs and getting used to being incarcerated, and what the jails are like in Wisconsin. And I'll probably tell you guys about the first fight that I got into probably 2 weeks within me being in Wisconsin. I ran into somebody on the street who I tried to rob before, and we got down. So thank you guys for tuning into this video. If you guys could, bless me with a subscription, I would appreciate it. And it's free for you guys and only takes a couple minutes. If you can like it, I would also appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. I'm gonna try and be more consistent with the videos. I'm not sick anymore, so I'm feeling good, and I'm gonna start grinding. So thank you guys.